Hi, welcome to TisTalk.
Welcome to TisTalk. This is a community podcast coming from Tisbury, Wiltshire and surrounding villages. I'm Mary Myers.
It's the week beginning Monday the 13th of October.
Well, hello Anne.
Hello Mary, pleased to be here.
It's very nice that you're here. So, Julianne had her last TisTalk last week. So we're going to have a new format now where I have a series of co-presenters. You're the first one every week. And what I'm going to ask each person is a little bit of Tisbury news and a little bit of world news that's crossed their radar this week. So, Anne, what's crossed your radar in terms of Tisbury news this week?
Right. Well, Tisbury news, it's the referendum on TisPlan 2 that's coming up, which is on the 23rd of October. We'll be talking a bit about that later. I'm going to Japan next week, and so I'm going to miss the voting. I thought, oh no. But you can actually register a proxy vote.
And then what was the piece of world news you were interested in particularly?
Well, the piece of world news I've been following is about the walkers who've been stranded on Everest. I went there 50 years ago leading a tour, and we were actually camping at the bottom of Everest on the Tibetan side. So I've seen that landscape and very much where these walkers are.
Wow.
I led one of the first tourist expeditions to Everest.
Wow.
We were only camping at the bottom of Everest. We weren't, but that was 16,000 feet at the bottom of Everest.
Right.
We didn't actually go up the mountain.
No.
But we were in the area, so I could see how bleak it is. And I thought, gosh, you know, there's this whole trail of sort of hundreds of walkers on there.
I think they've just rescued over 500 people and led them back down. It actually, the pictures look horrible. It just looks like this horrible, crowded...
Exactly.
It's not natural, untouched beauty at all.
And the problem is that, you know, they leave so much rubbish. There's terrible problems on the Nepalese side with rubbish, and I guess it's now happening on the Tibetan side as well.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
But anyway, at least they're safe, which is good.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
We have quite a long list of very interesting things. First of all, we've got Dick Budden talking about an ash tree that's suffering from ash dieback and about ash dieback in general. Then we have Gerry Murray talking about the TisPlan referendum. After that, we have the new owners of the Deli having a short interview with Mary about what we can expect from the new Deli.
And of course, we've got another new face on the high street, Chloe Fox. So we've got a little bit about what we can expect from her new bookshop.
Then we have 'Tis the Season with Gerry Mason. After that, we've got a short piece about the History Archives open session in the Nadder Centre, followed by the What's On.
Brilliant. And then I think I'm going to put a little soundscape from the children at Wardour on at the end.
Lovely. That's out of your back garden, isn't it?
That's right, yes. And a robin singing, so listen out for that. Okay, on with the show. We start with Dick Budden, who lives in Chicksgrove Road. He has a magnificent ash tree, but sadly is under threat. He told me about the difficult decision to have it cut down and about the wider problem of ash dieback that's affecting so many of our local trees. First of all, Dick, do you own this tree?
I do, yes. I've actually checked out with Wiltshire Council. I thought it's just possible that this tree belongs to the council rather than to me because it's right beside the road. But unfortunately for me, at least in financial terms, no, the boundary of the land that they own is simply the width of the tarmac.
Right.
So this tree is it grows out of the hedgerow. It's right at one edge of our plot of ground. It's a remarkable specimen, very nearly 18 feet, or a little more than 18 feet, about 5.7 metres in girth. So it's a very big, very old tree.
It's lovely, isn't it?
there's a fungal disease which has come here from Asia. It reached Europe sometime around the 1990s, so getting on for 30 years ago, from Asia, where the trees are more resistant naturally, and it has spread from the continent into the UK and Ireland over the last number of years, and it's now very widespread here too. The disease is, technically it's known as Cllr fraxinia. The ash tree is Fraxinus excelsior. This is the common European ash. And what it does is the fungus infects the leaves and the stems and the branches of ash trees, which blocks the tree's ability to transport water and nutrients. And as it does so, the symptoms are that the tips of the tree die back, the leaves die back, and that's why it's given this common name, ash dieback. And the crown begins to thin, and eventually trees that suffer from it mostly die. What's particularly sad in this instance is that I've consulted the Wiltshire Council tree officer, Shane Varian, and talked it through also with Andrew Graham, who's the Tisbury Parish Council tree specialist, and we know, I understand, I'm told that it is mature trees, older specimens that are showing the best signs of being equipped to fight back and recover from this disease.
Oh, really?
So if this tree were anywhere else, I would be delighted to leave it, perhaps to prune it or pollard it, and then permit it to recover. I've actually taken down, we can see from where we stand, I've taken down a couple of ash trees. This is one of them I'm pointing to now. A few years back, a much younger ash that was clearly suffering from dieback, and I took that down in the hope that its removal would permit the older tree to recover, or rather to prevent the disease spreading to the older tree.
But it hasn't worked.
But I'm afraid that wasn't sufficient, and it has. The older tree is now showing clear and distinct signs of it to anybody who looks.
So although it's fighting it, we know it won't recover. Is that right?
I don't know that it won't recover. What I do know is that there is an increased risk that the tree will shed limbs.
Okay, so that's the danger.
And so if it were anywhere else on my property, or if it weren't right over the road, I would be delighted to prune it back and let it go on fighting for its life. But in this instance, half the tree, as everybody who passes along this road every day will know, half this tree is over the road.
Yes.
And that presents a serious hazard
to
people and property.
Dick? Why do ashes with ash dieback present such a hazard?
I don't pretend to understand exactly how this works, but what I know is that the timber becomes more brittle, and tree surgeons have said to me that where a tree is showing severe signs of this disease, they are very cautious even about climbing into it. Because the wood becomes so brittle.
Yes. And
it's this brittleness which, combined with weather conditions, high wind, high rain or whatever, can bring parts of the tree down.
Yes.
So because there is a power cable suspended on poles beside the road, running through branches of the tree, I have to wait for SSE to provide me with the date when they can isolate the power line. We're going to have to close off the power for a day, probably, while the work is carried out. Until I've got a date for that, I don't know for sure.
Sure, and of course the road will have to be closed, won't it?
Well, I'm hoping that won't be necessary. The tree surgeon, the contractor I've appointed, says he will have to close the road temporarily while individual branches are lowered to the ground, but he will do that with the minimum of disruption.
Right.
And we will have people on the road at each end, making sure that nobody's under the tree when that happens. So we're hoping that it won't be necessary to actually close the road for any extended period of time.
Dick, how much is it going to cost you to bring this tree down?
Well, I don't want anybody to think that this is merely a matter of cost, but it's not cheap. The cost estimates we've got say it's going to be between £4,000 and £4,500.
£4,000 and £4,500. That's a lot of money, isn't it? And what about if you just pollarded half of it, all the bit that's over the road, and kept the half that's, in your land, over your land? You might solve the problem.
Well, in point of fact, pollarding it requires more work than taking the tree down. So it actually, in terms of money, which is where your question started, it wouldn't save me any money. It would actually cost us more. Oh. But more importantly, pollarding does not remove the risk, because we know the tree has this fungal disease. We know that it makes the timber more brittle. That would still be true of the remaining stems. So the risk to the public remains, and the liability that I have as the owner of the tree would remain. If this tree were not beside the road, I would be very happy to have that kind of work done to give the tree a chance to survive. It's a beautiful specimen.
Yes.
But because it's beside the road, that risk will always remain.
Right.
Unless I take it down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very sad.
I've probably planted a couple of hundred trees since I moved
in
here.
In your garden?
Well, it's a bit more than
and
a
your
garden,
land.
but on my plot, close to the River Nadder, and those trees will be there well after I've left the plot.
Good. Well, that's a great thing to end on, a bit of hope, and we're just
a vision
sad
for the future
about this particular tree, but hundreds more are coming.
Hundreds more are coming of various different species, and some of them I hope will make a contribution to the landscape.
Thank you very much.
It's always sad to lose a tree that's been part of the landscape for so long. But as Dick said, it's important to understand what's happening and keep our roads safe. Thanks to him for sharing that with us. And now, from trees to planning, or more precisely, TisPlan 2. Gerry Murray explained to Mary why it's so important that everyone takes part in the Neighbourhood Plan referendum on the 23rd of October.
Okay, I'm with Gerry Murray at the parish rooms, and people will know that Gerry is our relatively newly elected councillor on Wiltshire Council. I know that TisPlan 2 is up for a referendum very soon on the 23rd of October. Can you tell us why we should vote and what it's all about?
Okay, well, TisPlan and TisPlan 2 are all that we've got in Tisbury and West Tisbury to protect ourselves against speculative development. It is the Neighbourhood Plan is the strongest tool that we could possibly use to ensure that development in our area, in our neighbourhood, and it's defined in this plan as Tisbury and West Tisbury, is done according to the plan. It's plan-led and not developer-led.
And that plan has been written carefully by and for the community over the last couple of years. Is that right?
It's more than a couple. We started in November 21.
Okay.
And it passed its examination this last August, in August 25.
Okay.
So you're talking about 4 years of volunteer work. Nobody gets paid to do this.
No.
It's pure volunteer work, and it is an awesome amount of time that people have given up to do this. And the next statutory stage is the referendum, where the people in the defined neighbourhood, which is Tisbury and West Tisbury, they get to vote, and if they pass it, it's not a wish list, it's the law.
Okay.
The neighbourhood plan then becomes part of what is known as the development plan, and that is a combination of the neighbourhood plan and Wiltshire Council's local plan, and those are the documents whereby all planning applications are judged. It's really important for people to know that it is not a wish list, it is the law. Okay. Neighbourhood
Yes.
plans are obliged to allocate sites for housing, and we've allocated 2 in TisPlan 2, Station Works and the old sports centre site, which already has planning permission. And that's part of their function. And they are there to guide developers where planning is permissible. They can't just pop up anywhere and build a load of houses.
But if this has been all agreed and gone through so many stages, why do we need a referendum?
Well, that's just part of the legislation and the Localism Act. You have to be certain that, you know, the people in the area support what the neighbourhood plan team has developed and what the examiner has said. The examiner has already pronounced and has pronounced it he's very complimentary about our plan and said it's all fits all the conditions that it should, and it's now for the people to say, yes, I agree for this to be implemented, or no, I don't. If you go on the TisPlan site, that's tisplan.org, and you will see there TisPlan 2, the renewal of the Tisbury Neighbourhood Plan. You can read it all there. If you go to the Nadder Centre, there are paper documents laid out there for you to read. And we will be distributing a leaflet to every household in Tisbury and West Tisbury between the 10th and the 15th of October. That will give you a lot of information about the plan and the referendum and when and how to vote and all the rest. Good. There are summaries in the narrative, in the document, that can be read quite quickly.
Okay, great. So just a quick reminder then about the day, 23rd of October.
23rd of October, Hinton Hall. Get there early because there'll be a big queue.
Let's hope so. Thank you very much, Gerry.
Follow us on Instagram at TisTalk Radio.
So don't forget, mark the 23rd of October in your diary and vote at the Hinton Hall from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. And you can apply to vote by proxy if you need to, if you're going to be away on the 23rd of October. Details are on your polling card that you should have had through the post. Next, we're heading to the High Street to meet Ali and Mark Young, the new proprietors of Tisbury Deli.
Hi, I'm Mark, new owners of Tisbury Deli. 1 week into our ownership. It's been a really fantastic week so far, and a great welcome to Tisbury.
Yeah, well, welcome to Tisbury. So you're Mark and you are...
I'm Ali.
Okay, surname?
Young.
Okay, did you share a surname?
Yep, so we're a husband and wife team.
Yep.
Just moved across from East Sussex, although we've got history in Tisbury. We lived here previously, got married, had our first child here, so love the village and it's great to be back.
Great.
We decided it was time for a new venture. Both of our children have gone off to uni, so we thought now's our time.
Okay, well, so are we going to see any major changes here at the deli?
So I think it's really going to be evolution. It's not going to be a big revolution. The deli is, such a treasured part of the high street. I think we want to keep that continuity, but we've got some ideas, just to freshen it up, maybe some new products.
Yes.
We've got some of the same staff, so we've got that continuity.
Okay, some of the same staff, not all.
Yeah, no. So Ian and Simon have gone now to new ventures, and but Tracy is still going to be in the deli, and Maria, and we've still got Sarah at the kitchen doing all our cooking. So none of that's changing. So so that's good. Yeah, and they're a big help.
And I must say, are there going to be any changes to the prices?
Yeah, I think what we'd say is, look, we want to make sure that the deli is somewhere that everybody can come in and find something. So obviously we do some really high quality items that have a cost, and as sort of small business owners, we have to try and protect our living. But on the flip side, we want to make sure that there's things on the shelves, in the counters, that everybody can afford, and actually, don't be scared to come in, because actually there's a lot of value to be found, and we'll make sure we keep doing that.
And also, we'd like to think that our coffee is very good, and it's also the cheapest on the high street, I believe.
Hey.
Yeah, and you can come and sit outside and drink your coffee or take away.
Yeah, well, you certainly got one of the best spots on the high street,
yes,
isn't
I
it?
think
A
so.
lovely sunny spot and a little bit raised up.
Yeah, even when it's raining, actually, a little bit protected, I think, under there, so it's not bad. Like I say, everybody's been very, very welcoming and supportive, so that's been great. So thank you.
Yeah, please come and say hi.
This is TisTalk from Tisbury, Wiltshire.
And now for another quick word from a new face on the high street. Chloe Fox is going to be opening her new bookshop, Fox & King, on the 23rd of October.
I'm Chloe Fox, and I'm opening a bookshop called Fox & King in Tisbury on the 23rd of October.
Well, welcome to Tisbury.
Thank
Fantastic.
you very much.
But you are a local person, aren't you?
Yes, I live in Broad Chalk, but I've lived in the area for 15 years, came from London to Anstey first of all, but my children all went to school at Wardour.
Oh, okay.
So I know Tisbury really well.
And it's going to be called Fox & King.
Yeah, which is because I'm Chloe Fox and always have been for my work. That's my maiden name. But my married name is Chloe King. And my husband and I have done it together, down to painting the walls and buying it, obviously. So we're in it together. So the name is reflective of both of us and both aspects, I suppose, of me.
And what can we expect in your bookshop?
Oh, a little bit of everything. It's going to be a general independent bookshop. So something for everyone, I hope, with plenty of new releases and fiction and bestsellers, but also non-fiction genres like young adult and romantasy, which are all very popular, and a little bit of something for everybody in that way. And then a sort of dedicated children's department, because there's so many young families in the area.
Great. And some comfy armchairs to get stuck into a book?
Yes. Couple of comfy armchairs. I've been advised not to have too many, because then people get stuck in and don't buy books. I've got to get the balance right. So I want it to be a very warm welcome, and my aim when designing it has been to make it feel quite domestic, I suppose. So I want it to feel like coming to someone's sitting room, but maybe not so much like that people bed in, settle in for the whole day and don't, because I've realised I do also need to sell books.
And you're opening on the 23rd of October. Will there be an official launch that day?
No, that's going to be a soft opening. I've been advised. I've never sold books before. I've never actually sold anything before. My background is in writing and journalism, and so words are my thing, I suppose. But retail is very new to me. So the perceived wisdom is to have a soft opening, i.e. just open the doors, get used to the selling of books, take on people's thoughts and ideas and adapt the space and get it working. And then maybe between now and Christmas, I'll have a little drinks or something. Book selling is busiest at this time of year. That's the good news. So I'm opening at a time of year where there's lots of new releases and obviously the Christmas build-up. So I'm capitalising on that momentum, but equally, I think that will mean a lot of people probably come in those 3 months. So it's going to be quite a juggling act, just learning what I'm doing. And then once everything's quieter, I think, beginning of next year, I'll be able to plan next phases.
Okay. Well, best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Here's Gerry Mason talking about 'Tis the Season, which is on the 29th of November.
So I'm with Gerry Mason. We're sitting outside Coffee Angels, and we've got news, or he's got news about 'Tis the Season. It seems amazing to be talking about a Christmas event in October, but there's plenty of planning needed, isn't there?
Hi Mary, yes, we've been planning this for a few months now. It does come around far too quickly, but here we are. Firstly, it's an invitation to any of the clubs and societies in Tisbury who haven't got a stall already. Please contact us, because we still have some spaces available, not enormous numbers, but we have some available. There's no charge for a stall at the event, which is going to be on Saturday the 29th of November between 10 and 4. You can have a choice of indoor or outdoor stalls. We've got 2 halls available this year, the Hinton Hall and the Victoria Hall, plus the High Street will be closed from the Bennett all the way down to the post office, plus the north side of the square will be shut as well. So there's plenty of space there, but we would encourage anybody who wants a stall, please contact us. We've got a dedicated email address, which is events@tisbury-pc.gov.uk, or they can contact me on Facebook or Nextdoor, or my mobile phone, which is 07564 141 747. Finally, I should mention that we're not providing music ourselves this year, but we are encouraging all the venues to have music and entertainment. And I know Coffee Angels and Harry's and Gardner and Beadle and the Bennett will all be having music through the day at some point. So any aspiring musicians there, come and make yourselves known. If you're too shy to talk to them direct, get in touch with me and I'll do the necessary talking to people.
Okay, well, that's good. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
You're listening to TisTalk from Tisbury, Wiltshire.
Next, a little bit of news from Tisbury Archives. They are holding a display of some of their artefacts, objects and photos, which are very rarely seen, on Monday the 27th of October from 10:30am to 3pm in the Nadder Centre. It's in the room opposite the reception desk. Please pop in and have a look, and there'll be people from Tisbury History Society there to tell you all about these wonderful objects.
Okay, that sounds good. Now for the What's On listings with Lal Pointer.
On Monday the 13th, the Tisbury Footpath Club Maintenance Group meets at 9:30am. Please phone 871 105 if you want to join in. On Tuesday the 14th at 7:30pm, the Tisbury History Society has a talk about Anglo-Saxon architecture in the Hinton Hall. Non-members can join in for a small entrance fee. On Wednesday the 15th, from 10 till 12 noon, the Memory Group meets in the Hinton Hall. And at 2 until 4, the Tisbury Fitness and Friendship Club meets at the Nadder Close Sheltered Housing. Later, at 7pm on Wednesday, the Tisbury Gardening Club meet at the Methodist Hall. On Thursday the 16th, from 11 till 1, the Wiltshire Site Group meet for coffee at the Nadder Centre for advice and a friendly chat for anyone with sight loss. And at 2:30 there's afternoon tea with a ukulele band at the Victoria Hall. Then on Friday the 17th there is a community choir concert at St John's Church in Hindon, and this is at 7 for 7:30 with the Hindon Beat and Splinter Group. On Saturday the 18th, at 9:15, the Tisbury Footpath Club has a walk starting at the Nadder Close car park. At 9:30 till noon, the Community Cafe breakfast will take place at the Methodist Church. And at 10 till 1, at 10 till 11, the Country Market will take place in the Victoria Hall. And Sunday the 19th, at 9:30 to 11am, Tisbury Young Nature Watch is checking to see if dormice have moved into their nest boxes. Please email youngtnhs@gmail.com to find out where to meet and to book your children's places. And looking a bit ahead, Make a note in your diary to vote in the Neighbourhood Plan referendum on October the 23rd. To unwind a bit, there's a live jazz at the New Vic on Friday the 24th of October with Mingus Moves at 7:30pm. And the Royal British Legion are looking for volunteers for the Poppy Appeal between the 27th of October and the 8th of November. Please contact Louise Downton on poppylass@btinternet.com if you can help with house-to-house street collections.
That's all from TisTalk this week. We've been Mary Myers
and Anne Martin, with special thanks to Lau Pointer. And to close this episode, we're heading outdoors to Wardour for a peaceful little soundscape. Listen out for children playing and a robin singing.